Yo, YouTubers. It's me, alright? Yo, YouTubers. As promised, this is a rare treat, a new treat for all you viewers. The reason I'm using my older camera, I'm not using my high-def camera, is because this camera, I can edit it in Sony Vegas, right? So I can edit the entire finished product, whatever I record, right? Later on to put it all together and put it onto YouTube. So that's why I'm not using higher def, but it doesn't really matter for this because this is my first cookery video that I'm going to be posting on YouTube, and it's a very simple recipe, right? I was a bit inspired. I saw my sister on YouTube doing a video making a sausage casserole, right? I thought it was quite funny, so I thought what I'm going to do is like, you know, it's I'm still self-isolating or whatever. I very rarely buy fast food or meals that are kind of like takeaway and things like that these days. I cook my own food normally. Well, to a degree, right? I'm not a great chef or nothing like that. I'm not making any claims, but this is a recipe video, right? And, you know, if you watch it right through the end, I mean, I'm doing this step by step, right? People might think like, as if people don't know how to do that or know how to boil water or whatever, little things like that, right? I'm going to do it like step by step because I think when I put videos on YouTube, I do think of people like handicapped people, people with learning difficulties, people with autism, that kind of stuff, right? So I put my videos together like this. I'm going to try and be as graphic and detailed as I can. It's a cookery video, right? A lesson to make a very simple meal, very cheap, right? It's like, you know, students kind of food, right? If you're on a very low budget, you're quite poor, you're not a bit of a snob, right? You'll enjoy this. If you're a vegetarian, you'll enjoy it because there's no meat in it, right? If you're an alcoholic, you'll enjoy it because it's quite cheap and you can spend most of your money on booze instead. If you're a drug addict, you'll love this meal because there's not much ingredients required. It's very simple. As you know, it's actually, I wouldn't say it's ultra healthy, but it's not unhealthy, right? And it's tasty. It's nice. You'd be quite blown away if you ever do this recipe yourselves, right? And I've noticed that recently, I have a bit of Asperger meal, like, so I cook meals like the same for months on end, you know what I mean? And this particular meal is like, I've been saving a lot of money lately, guys, right? Firstly, I don't buy cannabis anymore. That's the first thing I did, right? I only drink casually. I don't drink heavily, right? Which, by the way, speaking of which, I think, like, you know, in the style of Floyd in the kitchen, I'll have a drink while I'm doing this video because it'll kind of keep me happy and talkative and hopefully make the video entertaining, you know, for people to watch, right? So, yeah, I'm cracking open a bottle of beer while I cook this, just like, greetings, Dick astronauts! Floyd in the kitchen here. I'm going to show you how to make a fantastic meal for vegetarians and people on a low budget who don't want to pay any attention to Gordon Ramsay. Right, so yeah, stay tuned, folks. This is going to be brilliant. I might add some music to this later. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, but yeah, I'm having a drink to get on with it. Like, beautiful hoppy, strong 9% beer. Oh man. Okay, and there's going to be loads of little tips in this, right? Loads of little tips, right? But the main thing about this meal is it's vegetarian, right? So you don't have to worry about meat. It's tasty, it's cheap, right? Students, any students watching this, you'll just think, oh wow, why didn't I think of that way? And the ingredients are cheap, everything's cheap, right? I'll just get the packets of noodles out the cupboard. Right, now the first tip I'll give to people when making any food, right, is preparation. Right, now this isn't complicated, everything's frozen or instant, right? Masala. These noodles are like amazing, but you know this company Cookery, they're like cheap, aren't they, right? But In particular, these masala flavour ones, if you can find these in the shops, right, masala, the curry flavour, right, and they've got a really authentic Indian curry taste to them, like, and that's why I choose these, right. But you can choose any noodles of your choice. This is the beauty of it. You can make it to your own tastes, the flavour. Say, if your instant noodles were prawn flavoured or beef flavoured or whatever, it'll have that like hint of flavour in it, right? So preparation, before I get started, I always make sure anything that needs to be opened, anything that needs to be put aside, right? I open the packets, open the little sachet so you're not panicking, you know, when you're putting the sachet in. Don't panic with the sachet, right? And let's get on with it, right? And I'll go through this meal step by step for autistic people, for people who are a bit like, you know, Down syndrome people. You'll be safe cooking this, right? And a couple of cooking tips, right? Now, the first thing, my first tip that I can give anyone is have a nice drink in the kitchen. No, I'm joking. Have a nice drink in the kitchen. Greetings, Dick astronauts. I'm going to be making the ultimate noodle meal for people with no money. Right, I'm telling you straight, guys, because I don't go to the supermarket and I hardly buy things that are expensive or instant meals and stuff. I make my own pizzas, I do all kinds of stuff that I'd say it all adds up. You'd have more money to spend and I can save up basically, and I'm on social security, right, and I still manage to save up, you get me, like. But anyway, first tip before we get on with the cooking, right? I'll take the camera off the tripod so I can just show you this, right? This is my humble kitchen, right? It's not very posh, you know what I mean? This is I love this kitchen, you know what I mean? I call it the Anfield kitchen because when it shows tiles, you can see the red tiles. So, you know, welcome to the Anfield kitchen, right? Why's my monitor upside down? Am I seeing this upside down here? Oh my word, my monitor's... it's actually... I've just realised the camera's the right way up when it shouldn't be. Alright, anyway, the first tip is this. Now I've removed the kitchen towel to the side. My kitchen, there's supposed to be a cooker there. I've got weighing scales, my video camera, tripod, my hoover. Wow, everything's upside down on the screen, so it's really confusing. And that's a new thing now. Well, let's close the monitor. Now it's gone the right way up. Right. Okay. Now here's the first tip, guys. The best thing since sliced bread. What are they called? Oh man, a convection stove, right? Convection stove, unbelievable. Is that just pure Stanley Kubrick? That's just pure, like, this is like 2001, right? I'll just show you it before we, you know, get on with the cooking and that, like. And the beauty of these things is they don't get hot on the surface, right? So they're safe, right? They're safe for, like, you know, kids and Down syndrome and people like that, right? Or autistic people. Anyone who's got a bit of a, you know, like a learning difficulty, right? Right, and you can put this kitchen towel on top of the thing, and if you do any spillages, it just, you know, because it doesn't get hot. The thing doesn't get hot. You see. The surface of the cooker doesn't actually get hotter because it works on magnetism. The only downer is you have to buy pans especially for convector heaters, convection stoves that are magnetic. They've got to be magnetic. My wok is magnetic, so I have no problems with that, you know, right? So anyway, first things first, right? There's my pan on the stove, and if you have any spillages, because this doesn't get hot, it just goes on the paper and you can just change it, you know what I mean? So that's a great little tip, man. I know a lot of people put videos on about convection stoves, like, but like I say, I'm aiming these videos at, like, say, students, people who are a bit daft, you know. Right, now you can see the water the water level, it's about, I'd say about that much, say 2 inches of water in this pan, and it's quite a large pan. You can see it's like it's not a tiny pan, but it's small enough for one meal, right? This is for me, one meal for a man, time brand meal for one, right? Now, the first thing to do, get the ingredients in the pan, right, of things. I'll just put the camera back on the tripod, right. I should pause and everything and do it in stages, but I don't know, because I can edit it later, you see. Well, the first thing we're going to do is put the first ingredients in. Now, you see in the water, it's about roughly, I put, like, when I do anything with noodles, the key to doing noodles is not to make them squashy and sloppy. They've got to have a kind of bit of, like, you know, the noodles, when the meal's finished cooking, they're not runny and sloppy. They've got a little bit of, like, I don't know, what do we call it, like, if you don't make spaghetti or noodles too sloppy, like, I haven't got a description for that, like. So anyway, I'm going to aim my camera down, right, folks, and set me monitor so I can see, right, and I'm going to go do a step-by-step guide to probably one of the cheapest, most enjoyable meals that I've ever discovered in my life, mate. Right, and let's go. Let's go. Right, now, first ingredient. The water's still cold. First ingredient, turmeric. Right, turmeric. You know, that's why, even though I'm like 55 years old, my skin is amazing. Even though I've got quite dry skin, I've got like a condition, you know, a dermatological. Okay, when I watch, I don't calculate it, I don't do like this many spoons or whatever. Put that like a good dose of turmeric in the water, right? Tip number 1, turmeric in your water, right? Healthy, good for you, even kills tumours. When Elephant Man tried this recipe, he woke up the next day, he was completely normal. When I gave Elephant Man this recipe, like, all his warts and tumours were gone overnight. Anyway, right, now, second ingredient, oregano, right? Sprinkle a sufficient amount. Right, that's a little bit of, you know, a little bit of vegetable in there, right? Okay. Third ingredient, and I'm doing this in real time, right, folks, so that, like, anyone can follow it, rewind, pause it, whatever. Some time, right? Just like, you know, like herbs to give it a bit of herb flavour, like. Right? Okay. Good sprinkling. Okay? You see that there? Quite a fair amount in there, like, but when it's all dispersed in the meal, you know, you'll know what I mean later, like. Right. Next ingredient. Ginger powder. Okay? Ginger powder. I'll put it in there so it's, you know, floating on top of the other spices, so you can see quite a generous amount, say like almost a tablespoon, I'd say, you know what I mean, because this just makes the flavour incredible, and it's good for you, fights colds, you know, alright? Okay, now, that's all ready to go, right, that's ready to start. Well, now, with this thing, oh man, I'm terrible, aren't I, with this, Right, I'm going to take the camera off the tripod now, so you can get a good look. Now you can just see water, turmeric, oregano, thyme, ginger powder. Right, now check this out, guys. This is the best part. Like, I'll just fold that back so you see. Machine on. This is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Put it on boil. Right, put it on boil. Just to get it all boiled. Right, you can see, on, ready to go, boil. Now watch how this works. Oh, hold on, I've got to turn it on again. This is, you see, it goes off automatically because it's like a safety function, right? Right, so now that's on boil now. That's going to go, you know, I covered it over with the thing, right? Now that's going to start boiling soon, so I can basically pause it, right, and wait till it starts boiling. But look at this, guys. Look, I can put my hand on that, and it won't burn me. It won't, you know, it won't burn me, like, because it's like magnetic energy goes into the pan, and that's how it cooks. You know, they're really safe, man, you know, if you use your head right, you know, there's no danger, right? Remember what I said about preparation? Preparation, if you put all your ingredients, there's not many ingredients in this, they're all frozen and stuff, and noodles, it's all instant, right? But they're kind of healthy, right? Preparation is the main tip I can give any chef, right? Make sure your onions are cut, or whatever it is you got to do, you know, peeling potatoes. Never put your stove on and then start preparing things. Make sure everything's prepared before you even switch the heat on, okay? That's the first tip. And the second tip is keep drinking some beer to keep you happy in there. Right, now, I'm going to turn it off, the camera, and wait for the water to boil, because there's no point in waiting. But this thing boils water at like an amazing speed. Actually, I don't know whether to film it so you can see for yourself. What an anorak, what a sad anorak I've become as I get older. You know, look at my beautiful kitchen with all them empty beer bottles there. Like, see how tidy it is. See how hygienic I am. Little stove, that's all my little oven there. I've got that there for any hob. I've got me steamer over there that I use. I've got a toaster there. You know, everything's miniature in case I move home. Everything's like, that's another tip. Don't bog yourself down with loads of furniture and like heavy duty white goods and that, like, you know. This video's gonna be mad. Alright, I'm just trying, I wanna show you how fast this boils. I'll leave it on. You can see the steam coming off it already. And that's the concoction, that, guys. That's the concoction. That's like me, like, you know, like Merlin, or, you know, Getafix and Asterix the Gaul, you know, the guy that with the cauldron and that, like. This is a cauldron, basically. This is like, you know, the old wise old Merlin kind of recipe, right? Now look at that already, guys, look. It's starting to go already, look. It's boiling right now. I've got to keep taking it off. So let it go down again. Right, listen, you hear that, like a little beep that tells you that it's been taken off. The magnetic force has been broken. Right, let's put it back down. Remember, it's still on boiling. Look at it go, mate. You see how fast that was? And look at all that goodness just boiling up, all vegetables, and beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at the gold colour of that turmeric. Right, when we get it to boiling point, the water's boiling. Leave it for a little bit. Keep taking the pan off there, like, you know, just to, like, see the way it settles, right? And it cooks the oregano and the thyme sort of thing, so it's not like little, you know, it's not like eating little twigs. Now, I can safely say that's hot enough, right? That's hot enough. So, I go down here and I just turn it off completely. Right, look, settles down into this lovely liquid. I know it looks like, doesn't look much, you know. Okay, now I'm going to put my camera back on the tripod. I thought I was going to be pressing the pause on this a lot, like, but I haven't even pressed it yet, alright. Right. Okay. Next. Cheap ingredients, guys. Cheap. This is the key. You can, any students watching this, you'll be able to buy more drugs and alcohol once you get onto this munch, right? Right. The first ingredients. I hear you cry. Oh no, I don't want that. Where are they? Go into the freezer. All right. Right. Oh. First ingredients. Look at that. I've got another bag of these. There's like, see that? Butter sprouts. £1. £1. from Iceland. You can get them anywhere else, Tesco's, whatever, like, but £1 a bag. This is nearly empty, this, so, right, now, that's the first ingredient, right? You know what I mean, like, this is like the meat, but it's vegetables, right? I need Noodle sprouts. Where are you? There we go. Oh, yeah. Drop something. The fridge is there. Okay, right, okay. Right. The ice off there, right? Whole bag of sprouts there, right? Right. Second ingredient, baby carrots, right? There's enough in that, like, so, right? That's the second ingredient. You know what I mean, like major ingredients. Carrots, right? This is healthy, this, guys. This is healthy food, right? I can't look. £1. £1. The noodles are about 29p a packet in the shop where I go, which is Home and Bargain in Birkenhead. I don't know about what's like in America or Australia, but I'm sure you'll be able to find instant noodles, right? And then the final big ingredient, peas. You can have sweet peas, whatever, but these are the frozen variety. Just garden peas, right? That's the final main ingredient. Right, now, I'm going to aim the camera down so you can see what I do. I'm just going to snip me the second sprouts bag open, right? Because there's only so many sprouts left in that first bag. Right, so I'm going to aim the camera down at the mulch. You notice the thing's gone off now, the fan. Goes off eventually, like, there's like a fan underneath it that goes off, like, you know. Okay, now, the sprouts. Last of these sprouts going in. I don't know how many there is, but you just kind of guess, you know what I mean? You don't have to calculate nothing. You can go, if you put too much in, or too little. Now, I know you're thinking, sprouts, right? You know, most people do. They only eat them on Christmas and that, but this is coming from a person who I never ever ate sprouts when I was a kid, and even as an adult, right? And I didn't know what I was missing, folks. I actually didn't know what I was missing. Frozen sprouts, you can keep them in the freezer for ages. You don't have to hurry, you know, rush to cook them, you know. Right. Any students watching this, man, if you've got degrees or whatever, you'll be like, you think I'm like a scientist after you've seen this, if you try it, like. Right, now I'm basically putting, like, quite a lot of sprouts in there, right? You can see that, right? It's all about just getting the balance of the vegetables, right? Right, they go back in the freezer. Floyd in the kitchen. Back in the freezer, the sprouts, right? Now the carrots, we have the carrots, right? Just a little handful. You can see on camera, you can probably see on camera how many I'm putting in, right? Say 2 handfuls of carrots, right? The more the better, because this is healthy. You know, I'm showing you that this is the best tip I can give anyone. Is now the peas, right? Just gonna throw them on top, quite a lot. You know, this is a meal for one, right? You see that? Peas. Peas. Hey, peas. Right, now, what we're going to do now? Now, they're all in there, right? They're all in there. Let's take the camera back off the tripod. Right, now what I'm going to do now, right, folks, is just pause the camera, because this camera, if I go beyond, like, say, half an hour or something, it records in segments. So I'm just going to pause it, right? Okay, we're recording again. Now, back here on the control panel on my Space Odyssey 2001 futuristic cooking machine, right? Switch it on. Boil again, right? Boil. Right. Now carry on recording so you can see how fast this happens now. I need a spoon, right? Oh, my preparation wasn't up to scratch there. Right. Right, here's a spoon. Look at this spoon, it's a big spoon, it's like a teaspoon, it's a good spoon this. Right, now, what I'm going to do is stir everything up, right? Now, the reason I put so much water in there, right guys, is because... See, I'm going to tell you everything. Look at all them sprouts, mate. You'll actually... Most people will be looking at this thinking, you know, no chance am I ever going to eat sprouts, mate. You know, not that amount of sprouts, mate, but that replaces the meat. There's no mushrooms in there, there's nothing necessary like that neither, right? That replaces the meat, right? Now it's on boil. I'll put the camera back on, right? Now remember, they're frozen vegetables, right, folks? So you don't have to worry about them in the freezer. You don't have to worry about eating them quick in case they go off or whatever, you know? That's why I choose frozen vegetables, right? And they actually taste good as well, believe it or not. Even the cheap ones, they're from Iceland, in England. We've got a shop called Iceland. I'm sure you can find frozen sprouts, carrots and peas in your shops in America, right? Just think about it, guys. When this virus thing's happening, everyone's going to be racing to the shops to buy meat and steak and all that kind of stuff and chickens and everything. Everything's going off the shelves. No one's asked about this kind of stuff. You'll be able to just walk into any shop and find these things if it gets bad. You know what I mean? If it gets like nuclear bunker state, right? Now, the reason I use so much water, remember there was like 2 inches of water, and you can see how high it's gone. Right? You can see it's quite high up now. It's quite high up, right? Now that's to make sure that when this thing's on boil, once it kicks off on boil and it starts kicking in, there's enough water for the amount of time needed to make sure them sprouts and carrots are properly cooked so that they be nice and soft, you know, instead of like, there's nothing worse than sprouts that are too hard, right? It's one of the biggest problems with people when they cook food, it's sprouts, and people go, they're a bit too solid. Once you cook them to the mushiness and they're soft and they melt in your mouth, you haven't lived if you haven't gone into sprouts yet, you know what I mean? I used to hate them. I used to hate all green vegetables. I actually couldn't eat anything green when I was a kid. I was just meat, some potatoes or whatever, just because I had to, because my mum insisted on it, right? Never touched a sprout when I was a kid. No chance, I'd run a mile, even peas, you know what I mean? But I forced myself to get into them in recent years. The last, say, 4 years or something, maybe 3 years. And I haven't looked back, guys. I've been eating sprouts since. And I'm telling you, they're so good for you. Look at me. Look at how cool I look for my age. Look at how good I look, man. Right, okay. Now, you can hear the fan in the background, probably. Now, look at that. It's starting to boil already. Right? Starting to boil already. Give it another stir. The cauldron. I bet you loads of you are thinking I would never be able to eat that way. You know? Just wait until you do it and you taste it for yourselves, right? Alright, it's starting to boil. There we go. Look how fast this boils. And remember, that's frozen. That's actually, you know, that... There'd have been ice coming off that. You know, all them peas and whatever, like making the water cold. But look how fast it starts boiling. With this thing set to boiling point, you know. You don't have to worry about the timer, you know what I mean, or nothing like that, because you keep looking at 2001, space 2000. Tells you the time that's going to go on its own, 26 minutes. Goes off automatically after 26 minutes, you know, in case you forget about it, you know. Or if you're, you're like autistic or something like that, it goes off on its own if you don't like pay attention to it. They're brilliant, these things, man. Right. Okay, look, it's starting to kick off. Right. Now watch what happens. This is a feature of these things. These things that you wouldn't think about with a normal stove. You know what I mean? Because you just put the temperature up or down, right? Now here's the key. I want the water to make sure that these vegetables are cooked and soft and delicious, right? I'll give it a bit of a stir. Look at it going now. It's picking up some. I'm telling you, mate, these things cook like you've never seen in your life, you know. These hobs, these convection stoves. Now look, it's starting to splash and go all over the place, you see?
That's why we have to... Now look guys, look how boiling that is, look. I can put my hand on that. Oh, something splashed out on my hand, but the actual plate itself is you can touch it like, right? Okay, now, what's this? Lower the temperature. 800. And what happens when it goes to 800? Look at this. It boils up. It goes down. Boils up. Goes down. See what it does, like intervals. You see that? So I don't have to do this. You can do that instead. Take it off the thing, put it back down. But to save you doing that, you just leave it on, put it on 800 degrees on the temp. That's the temperature. There's the timer. 25 minutes. 800 degrees. But it just does that, like, it swells the heat up and then goes off automatically. But it's like an interval, like a proper interval. Right. Okay, so I'm going to put my camera on the tripod. Right. Try not to push any buttons. Right. Now what I'm going to do now is just leave that now, so I can pause the camera, right? I'm going to leave that until the the steam is rising up off it. You can see the steam rising up off it, like, you know, like sort of, so I don't know if you can actually see that, right? It doesn't take long for most of that water to be evaporated, basically. You see? So I must be seeming like a crazy man, like. But anyway, I can just sit down now and carry on drinking my beer, and I can leave that, right? And I won't go near it until the water is nearly gone, and it's just above the sprouts and the carrots and all, because that looks like a stew, doesn't it, at the moment, right? Let the water, you know, let that the heat going up and down on its own do its work, and it's cooking intensely. You can see how hot it is by the way it boils. But the intervals, you don't have to keep an eye on it. It's not going to overflow or nothing, right? So I'm going to pause the camera, right, and I'll get back to it when all the water's nearly gone. Okay? Now I'll just show you before I pause it, so you see like a link, you know, like a you know. Right, you see how high the water is? Literally near the top. Alright, pausing the camera, and I'm going to carry on drinking my beer while this water evaporates. Well, greetings, Dick Astronauts! Greetings, Dick Astronauts! Ready to carry on with the recipe? Right, I've been sitting down, chilling out, drinking my beer. This has been on for quite a while now. It's still bubbling away, as you can hear. Right, now I'll just aim the camera down, and you can clearly see that most of that water is gone, right? Now we just need enough water, right? They're nice and soft. Remember, you don't have to put as many sprouts in as me, but I recommend it, you know, because it replaces meat, right? Now I'll turn everything off, right? Engine's off, so I get a bit of time, because I normally leave everything on. I normally leave it running while I'm doing this, but because I'm filming it, I want to, like a sort of. Now, there's only a little bit of water in there, right? And this is the key to making it nice. Is like when you put the noodles in, there's not that much water, just enough to make the noodles cook, right? Now watch. I'll just put it in. Throw the noodles in, right? I need a fork. Instant noodles. Instant noodles, Dick Astronauts. Instant noodles, Dick Astronauts. Right, now I need to make a bit of space for the noodles to go in, right? This is the awkward part, right? It's just getting this you know. Right, go on, man. Come on! Don't worry about splashing it, you see? We don't worry about splashing it because we've got all that kitchen paper there, like, you know? Right, okay, now I'll put the sprouts over the top of it and everything, right? And I'll put the heat back on. Right, now there's only enough water. This is the key. This is the secret in my recipe, right, guys? I'll put it back on boil, right? Back on boil, and I'll reduce it back to the 800. Right, it's just been reduced back to 800, so it does that interval cooking, right? Now the next thing I want to do is pour me powder in, right? Me flavouring for the noodles. This is the curry flavour, right? Look. Sprinkle it all in like that, right? Right? Can you see that? Do you see? Now, the noodles should start getting soft underneath. Right? Because the water just... The heat with this cooker is... it's intense. It really is intense. Right? Now I'm stirring the noodles in now, right? I might even have to add some water, a little bit of water, because of nigh on almost. But that's a little secret. You don't want the noodles all sloppy, you see. You want them, you know. There's nothing worse than sloppy noodles, mate. Nothing worse than sloppy noodles. Right, I'm going to turn the heat off for a second. Right. I think I might... No, I don't need any more water. I think that... well, you know straight, them noodles are broke up already. You must think I'm mad. I'll put a bit more water in, right? Just to make sure that the noodles are cooked. Right, you can see a little bit more water there. Just to make sure. Now, did you hear the little beep telling me it was off the thingy? It's like a little warning, like, you know, you have left the stove on. Right, look at this. Put my hand on there. Can't even burn me. Don't get burns. Look at that. Amazing. Right, now, I think everything is absorbed. Now, the key is make sure all the liquid is actually gone. It's all evaporated, right? Even to the point that it's starting to stick at the bottom of the pan. Starting to stick at the bottom of the pan. It's all about timing, folks. It's all about getting them noodles just right. Right? It's like a curry flavour. These are actually curry noodles, really. Right, now I'm going to turn it off. Right? The cooker is now off. The cooker is now off. Right, the final ingredients. The final ingredients. Okay. First, to give it a bit of, you know, like liquidity and a little bit of flavour, sunflower oil. Right? Now, I would recommend peanut oil or groundnut oil, high quality groundnut oil, which I will show at a later date on another cookery show. But I haven't got any at the moment, and it's expensive. It's the most expensive ingredient I ever buy for my cooking is peanut oil, which is amazing, and I'll show you that later on, alright? I've got some great tips in my cooking, like. But anyway, this is just cheap £1, roughly £1 worth of sunflower oil, right? So we get a little bit of oil in there to give it a bit of, like, you know, right now, just, you can see how much I'm spilling. Spill a little bit over the top like that, right? Stir it in, and that starts getting absorbed by everything, basically. It adds a little bit of flavour. I mean, I bet you're all watching this thinking, like, that looks disgusting. But trust me, folks, if you want to save money and you want to feed your family, say you're a family person and you want to do this for your family and that, like, as if, like, trust me, it's the best way to get your kids to eat sprouts on earth, I'm telling you, right? Because I wouldn't eat them. My mum was up the wall with me when I was a kid. Right, now remember earlier on I put turmeric in there, right? I've just stirred the oil in there, the cooker's off, the fan's still going, it stays on for a while, right? It should go off in a minute. Right. Next ingredient, black pepper. Ground black pepper, right? Now, I love the taste of this stuff. Now you know what it's like. Anyone knows if you use turmeric, and look at that, quite a lot, right? If you use turmeric, black pepper fires off all the goodness in the turmeric, right? I'm just going to stir it in as it is. Still haven't put the heat on. Right? The heat is actually off because it's hot. Trust me, it's boiling hot because of this convector heater, like. Obviously you get used to using your own cookers, you know, it's just electric or gas, you'd sort of work that out for yourselves, like, but this has been a revelation. You can clearly see them sprouts are soft, you know what I mean, they're soft, they're completely cooked, almost mash, right? Right, the third ingredient, ingredients. The next ingredients, I mean, put quite a lot in this, isn't it? Yeah, the fan's gone off now, so I don't have to shout. Premium light soy sauce. You don't have to put this in, but it's just to taste. It's nice, right? Not much, right? Premium Pearl River brochures, Pearl River. Stir it in. Right? Have patience, food fans. Any of us out there, man, if you're not vegetarian and you try this, you'll be amazed. You'll be like, oh my word. Of course you can put chicken in there or meat or whatever if you want to, but the advice I'm giving you guys is save your money. Don't worry about it. You don't need it. Another ingredients. Remember at the very beginning I put ginger in there. Well, to balance it up, I put ginger powder, didn't I, right? Balance it up. Lemon juice, right? Any kind of lemon juice. There's all kinds of different brands, but the ones that the stronger the better, right? Now I'm just going to go quite a bit. Right, squirted that in. Squirt the lemon juice in like that. Right, I want to try and get this take done in one go, like, so the camera doesn't start like pause on its own, like. Hey, digital cameras, they always do that. They pause on their own and like, you know, everything's done in segments. Right, all stirred in, right, folks. Now the last ingredients. Did you notice I don't put any salt in there? It's not necessary. No salt required, right? The last major ingredients, you know what it's going to be, don't you? Drum roll. Oh, this is the best part. This is the best part. Oyster sauce. Tiger. And like I say, if you can't get that one in your local shops, if you can't find Tiger oyster sauce, this one will do. If you recognise the label with the Fitty housewife cooking Masai or something it's called, you know, Masai. But I've got Tiger. I've got Tiger stuff, right? Now, watch the way this stuff looks. You've got to see this to believe it, right? I'll do a zoom in here so you can, you know. See, watch this. Watch how sparingly put quite a lot on, right? Not too much. If you put too much, it'll overbear. But look, see that? That's me precious ingredients. This is the key to making sprouts the ultimate munch, right? You know, anyone who doesn't like sprouts, anyone who doesn't like vegetables, right? Now watch this when I stir it in. It's quite concentrated. It's almost like a red colour. You can probably see that on the camera. I don't know. Because I'm not using a high def camera, you can't really. Right. Now you see it makes up for the liquid, you know, because the noodles are quite dry and there was not much water by the time I put the noodles in. This all like liquidizes the noodles perfectly, right? I'm stirring it in now. It smells delicious, mate. It really does. You know, whenever I go shopping or I go out and I come back to my flat and I come into the kitchen, it's like a Chinese restaurant. It smells amazing, I'm telling you. You know, because you can't smell me socks and underpants in the bedroom. But like, look, there it is, man. There it is, right? That's it. that's finished. I haven't put the heat back on. Have you noticed that? I've left the heat off because it kind of like, hasn't putting this stuff in, it cools it down naturally for me, right? Now, move all these ingredients out the way, these bottles and stuff, and then get the table ready. Oh, get my bowl ready. Right. Over here, zoom back. There's my bowl there ready. Move the fork out the way. I'm definitely Asperger's me, like I'm too fussy, right? I don't know if you've noticed that, I did film every ingredient there, right? And there you go, look at that, man, look. Now I'll put it in the bowl. It might look disgusting, guys. I know you're going to think, oh, I just couldn't understand how you can eat all that, like, right? Trust me, guys, if you get onto this, you will save a lot of money. Right? Don't buy anything already made or whatever, you know. Do this yourself, have a little bit of patience in the kitchen. Do it for yourself. Get all of that out of there, every little bit of that sauce, every bit of juice, whatever's in there left, right? Pan is empty. One perfect. I mean, I could actually do. 2 people could share this, by the way. It's good enough, you know. If you don't want to, there's nothing too fattening in there, apart from the noodles, as far as I know. Right. Right. And there we go. There's the finished meal. I'm just aiming my monitor so I can get it in the centre. Look at that. Now tell me that doesn't look appetising. Even if you're not into vegetables. Has that got like a Chinese, Oriental look about it, right? I'd say Cantonese, right? See those carrots and that? All cooked perfectly, right? The sprouts are mashy. Right? And then the final thing to do, right, is to just like, I'll put my camera up, boy. Zoom back out. Final thing to do, and you notice something I never do, guys. I never like taste while I'm cooking. I never sort of go, oh, does it taste right? I don't have to. I don't have to. I know it's going to taste great, right? I know it's going to taste great. And I notice I didn't use any scales. I don't weigh nothing. I don't like, you know, all by eye, all by sight, right? First thing I'm going to do is like toast myself for being an amazing chef. Thank you for watching, Dick Astronauts. Right, and then the final test, right? Right. I'll actually eat a sprout and a carrot at the same time, with some noodle and a couple of peas. You know, because it's all mixed up. You see, you don't have to worry about nothing. It's all in one bowl. Right. I'll tell you how it tastes. I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest. The sprouts are delicious. The mashy, it just literally melts in my mouth. You can see what I've done there. It's because of the heat of that convector stove, the convection heater, whatever they're called. What are they called? Induction. Is it called an induction stove? I'm not sure the name of it. Is it induction? I think it is. Induction. But that like makes sure that you don't need to steam or whatever. Them sprouts actually get cooked. The carrots are soft. Frozen peas, they taste good even if you've just like, you know, you've only just done them. They're alright anyway. Like cheap as chips. 28 pence for the noodles. 29 pence, sorry. £1 for each. You know, the vegetables, the bags of vegetables are £1 each. So there's 3 bags of vegetables, and they think about how many meals I get out of all of them bags total. Like a week's worth of food, guys. Honestly, it's so cheap. The sauces. That's the main event, right? I could put some more in that. You know what I mean? You can top it up to your own tastes and that. Like, You've got pepper in there, mixing with turmeric for the medicinal value for your skin, for your kill your tumours. Elephant Man was recovered in one night after he had one of these. But anyway, I'm getting off now. I'm going to put the paws off, put the paws on, and then sit down and eat them like. And I'll assemble the video for you to watch on YouTube. And anyone who's watching it, if you try this meal, if you actually try it for yourself and cook it, please get back to me in the comments section and tell me you were amazed at what the sprouts tasted like. But you've got to try and get all of that, guys, and if not, the other one, you know, the oyster sauce. Right? So yeah, I've done it. I've finally done a recipe on camera, and actually, this is what I eat this food more than most meals. You know what my actual favourite food is of all time? Pizza. I love pizzas. So in the next video, if you like this one, right, if you actually want to see more recipes, give me a shout, tell me in the comments section. I'll show you my homemade pizza recipe, which is absolutely divine, right? Anyway, Sicilian style pizzas, man, Archimedes pizza parlour. So from the Anfield kitchen, I'll say is thanks for watching, and I'm going to get stuck in and eat my meal before it goes cold. Cheers, folks. This stuff fights viruses, by the way. Gets rid of colds. It's actual healthy with the ginger, with the lemon. Just think about what I've showed you, guys. It's healthy, it's tasty, and it's bloody cheap. Students, alcoholics, drug addicts, drug addicts, people on a very low budget. Once you get wise to this, your kids will be saying, I want more sprouts, Mum. You'll be like, what's happened to me? Won't need sprouts. You'll see what I mean if you try. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. And more cookery shows coming up if you like it. Alright. Thanks a lot. Okay. Bye.